Howdy, good morning, good afternoon, ni hao ma. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian David Phillips, and welcome to What is My Workflow? I get asked by a few folks, how do I do the 360-degree videos that I post sometimes, or the 360 photos and things like that? Well, the video is pretty straightforward because I use a 360 camera. Let me pull the sheath off. As you can see in the little corner, dude, you see the incredibly handsome man holding a weird, looks like a remote, but it's not. This is a 360 camera. This is the Ricoh Theta S, and if you see, this is a lens, a 180 lens here, and on the other side, oh, another one, 180 plus 180. I teach English, but my math isn't that bad. 360. There's magic inside that stitches the two together. Actually, it's not inside, it's in the computer, but you can also use this to view on your tablet or phone if you wish. I will sometimes take photos with my phone. So first, I take a video. And I've already taken a video. It's in here. I'm going to connect this sucker to my computer via the USB, and we're going to put it on the computer and get it out of there. So while I plug it in, let me put the old camera condom back on, put this down here, and go to my Ricoh Theta S. And open it up to view the files, fixed storage. I'm just going to swoop in here. If this gets too complicated or too boring, I will indeed. I'm using Control-X, and I'm going to drop it into my workflow, video raw. I'll edit things if this is too drawn out, but it's pretty straightforward. I wanted to show as much of the flow for how I do my videos. I don't do the videos right or wrong. This is just the process I use. I'm dumping the video into my work directory, and you see I have the name is called Video Raw. So let's, what do we do then? Well, I open up the Theta S software. The reason I need to open this software up is because if I don't, it's not going to look right. In fact, let me move this out of the way. So here, let's real quick open up the video player, and you can see what the video looks like raw. And you see, this is what I shot in my office. It is one lens here, one lens here, and hello. Incredibly handsome man talking. And so it's not appropriate for online viewing or anything actually. And so I'm going to just close that, and I take that raw file and I'm going to dump that raw file into the Theta program. So I just take this and I drag and drop, and it's going to ask me, oh, I got to convert the video, because the software for the Theta will convert into equirectangular format, which is that weird smooshy thing you see on YouTube or elsewhere that allows you to view it through an appropriate viewer. So I'm just going to say start that, and it will convert the file. See, it's converting now. It converts the file so that I can view it on my computer. But also, I could then take that converted file and just upload it right to YouTube or right to Facebook or one of the other things. But I want to show you my workflow for adding titles and getting things done. So it takes a little while, and if it takes too long, I'll just cut it and jump cut. But you get the idea. Okay, so it's almost done, and once it converts, it's going to pop into the player, and this is the video as it was. Now I can see, there we go.
Hello, I'm Dr. Brian David Phillips.
Well, hello, Dr. Brian David Phillips. All right, and so you can see that's That is the video. It is 360 now. I can use my mouse, look around my messy office at the university. You know it's mine because it has my name on the thing, and I've got narcissistic walls and all that stuff. And it's a little messy because that's the kind of guy I am. That's how I roll. Okay, I just shot a minute in order to just show you what the workflow was. But you can see this is full 360. I can see my ceiling. Ooh. And other things in the office. I got my dream catcher over the computer so the computer won't have bad dreams and things like that. Lots of books and all sorts of stuff. You do look down and you can see I'm holding something. That's the camera. You can't see the camera in the picture. I wonder why. Because cameras don't take pictures of themselves. And so this nodal point, it looks kind of freaky. You can actually use an editor and stick something in there if you like, but I don't know how to do that yet, so I don't do that. Lots of posters on my wall, because yes, and I do have action figures. No, they are not dolls, they're action figures. I teach science fiction and fantasy courses, so a TARDIS makes sense for my office. Alrighty, so this has been converted, and if I close this, bye-bye, me. You can see there's now another file in the directory with an ER, and that tells me this is the converted file. So the thumbnail over here, you can see this is 2 globes. Now I've got an equirectangular, and I'll open that up, and you can see this is what you expect for 360. Alrighty, so I'm going to move that over into my other directory. I just do that because I do that. Alrighty, and so I've got my video, and I know I'm going to throw it into a video editor. I'm going to do some things, and I'm going to show you that as well. But I like to have titles for my videos. So why don't we open up Photoshop? I got my Photoshop here, and go to my directory for lists for my workflow, and I'm going to want a title page, and so let's open that sucker up, and I've got something already there, which is this is just something that I use. Now you're going to notice that a lot of times for titles you want them to be big, but for something like this you don't want it too big, so you want it a little small. And I'm just going to type in my title on my template that I use. Okay, and there's a reasonable title. What's my 360-degree video workflow? And it's small here. It looks small, and that's because you don't want to take up the whole thing, because these kind of title cards get expanded in the viewer. So you want something like this. So let's just save this in our old workflow, change that into a JPG, and I'm just going to say 60. And there we go. So now we've got a title card, and we've got our video. Let's open up our editor. This is PowerDirector, which I tend to use. There are 360 editors out there, but I use PowerDirector, so I'm going to import some media files into this. Get into the right directory. I want to input my title cards, and input, of course, my raw video. And there it is. These are the files that I'll use for this. Let me save my project so I don't have issues later on. And we're just going to PDS. That's what I usually do. And 360 workflow. So I've got my project saved. And for this thing, now you're going to notice something interesting. And first, I'm going to put my opening title down. That's the one I just made. My title card. It's only 5 seconds. I can make it a little bit longer. Not too much longer. You don't want too long. And here we go with the video itself. Okay, so let's drop the video. Oh shoot, something weird's going on here. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so I grabbed the video and I just dropped that in. Now, you notice something strange over here. Normally, with a 16:9, the entire video should fill the frame. Now, I don't want large black bars in my last video, but a thing about PowerDirector, you can only do the classic old style resolution or aspect ratio, or you can do a 16:9. We can cheat it, and that is I tell my PowerDirector that this video that I shot isn't weird ratio that is required, the 2:1 ratio required for equirectangular 360 videos or for photos. What I do is I tell it that it's actually set clip aspects. I go to aspect ratio, and I tell this is a 16:9 video, and that'll fill the frame for me. It just stretches it up. Now, after I'm done with all this stuff, I'm going to reconvert that to the more reasonable, the appropriate size or resolution. It's a pain in the buns, but this is not a 360 editor, so it doesn't know what to do. All right, so we've got that, and let's throw in our end titles, which is my name and web page, and we're going to go with we'll go with and a little longer for the last one, because that's what I usually do. Okay, so folks can find my Facebook group and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't just want to do hard cuts. I also want to put in some transitions. That's not really pertinent to what we're doing right here, but I'm going to do it anyway. So you see the full workflow. I'm going fast. Usually I take much more care and time on this stuff, but this is just a sample, and nobody really cares about this video. So, I mean, the one that we're editing, it's just a sample. Okay, so I put in some fades so it looks nice. Let's go ahead and save that sucker, and I can do a quick look at it just so you can see the opening. We fade in, what's my workflow, and then we go right into this. I probably should edit the video itself, because that's a long time getting into it.
Oh, hello.
And I also go to the end, see how it goes when it goes off. I'm going to cut that little clip, so real quick, just cut this sucker. You see my editor. I'm going to keep the opening because it's kind of funny, but I do want to cut so that that final clip doesn't show up. Yeah, so we're going to just cut it here. And there we go. And then I save that. And we're good to go. If I have a whole bunch of videos, I'm going to batch them. But for this particular one, I don't need to do too much. I can just produce it. So I'm going to real quick produce this and show you what that looks like. So we produce for PowerDirector. I've got it set so I go into my custom 1080p profile for the piece, and we're going to enable preview. I want to change my location for the file so that it goes where I want it to go. Ricoh Theta into my video editing directory, the workflow, and we're going to go with put it in 1080 here, And then this is my 360 workflow. MP4. I usually go with MP4. And I save that and I hit the old start. It should render fairly quickly because it is, after all, just a very short video. And so you can see it popping along there. It looks confusing and all that stuff because it's all stretched out weird. That's just the format for this sort of video. Obviously, if you have a better camera than this, the Ricoh Theta S is an excellent 360 camera. It's a lot of fun to play with, but the resolution's not that great. It's just 1080, and it's fuzzy. The lenses aren't that awesome, and so I would strongly suggest that you go ahead and do the bit and get it done. So we're back to edit. And we have done it. And I'm going to just go ahead and exit that. Do you want to change it? Nah, I already saved. Now we can go to my video 1080. And there's our final video. And you see it open up. Does its little bit. It fades in. Captain Handsome does his talking. Hello, hello, hello. Looks good. But here's the thing. This video is not the right resolution now. It's problematic because it's 1080 or 1920 by 1080. All right, so this video is 1920 by 1080. That's not the right resolution for this kind of spherical 360 video. I need to do something else with it. So I'm going to change the resolution. I open up my AVC program. This is a nice shareware program. It's quite cheap. I bought it. I'm very happy with it. And so I can take this video, let me move it to the side a bit, and I can drag my new 1080 video into that. Boom. And you can now see that I've got in my converter, okay, I can see that I've got the workflow video. Now I've got all my options set. Usually I've already got it set. So this is a 1920 by 1080. But if you look here, I want to convert it to 1920 by 960. And I've already got my video and audio options set that I like those. And so all I really need to do is just convert. So I'll hit convert now. This should be really quick. It doesn't take a lot of time for a short video to convert the resolutions from 1920 by 1080 to 1920 by 960. And as you can see, it's just working along. Okay, it's almost done. It's getting up there really quick. And I'm waiting. I'm done now. Yay! And so this software says it has converted. So what I need to do now is just check out the converted file. Yay! So you can see that I now have a converted file. My converter adds an X264. And so I can now open up my Metatag software and do some interesting things with it. Okay, here's the Metatag software. You can get this from YouTube when you look up how to do 360 videos and things like that, or other places will have something similar. Essentially, this takes your 1920 by 960 video and ejects a spherical Metatag so that YouTube, Facebook, and others can recognize it. So we're going to open up the file. Our workflow, this is the converted one, I know that. Our original, the converted, and I just open that and choose spherical and just say save. If you've got 3D, top bottom, you can also use that, but here we go with save. and it's going to have injected. So I'll go to my final directory for this one, and I just save that, and boom, it's done, successfully saved. Yay! Quit that sucker, and you now have the injected video in your final directory. And this is the video that I can play with. I could have played with contrast and lighting and things, but I didn't. And that, my friends, is that. I then upload this video straight up into YouTube or Facebook, and it'll be fine. In fact, I'm going to do that. I will check it out. And I'll also upload the how-to as well. Okay, and so that, my friends, is the workflow on how to make your own 360s. I hope this has been helpful for you, and until I see you again, this is Dr. Brian David Phillips saying, live, trans, and prosper. Bye-bye.